Holland as well. I think give 3 cheers for Erins own. Hip hip!
And we have Ned Poe here, very well known coach from Tallow and former Waterford Island hurlers. Well, Ned, after today's victory, what have you to say about our Tallow team? We are now moving into senior ranks.
Well, first thing I have to say is thanks be to God we are back again senior. Not just that senior is the beginning and end of everything, but I think that we have much more to offer than we'd ever contribute if we remained intermediate. And Tallow has a great tradition. Going back many, many years, Tallow and Erins were heard of before either of us was heard of Tom. And I'd like to think that we showed today that there's an awful lot of hurling between the two teams. And if we won today, Erins' own turn will come definitely next year. If not next year, certainly the year after, because their spirit is immense. They had to come back from the dead, and we knew they'd come back because in every match they played this year, they came back and finished strongly. So we had to stand up to a terrific bombardment near the end, and thanks be to God we were able to do that. We have great lads. They're, to me, my mind now, they're the best you could ask for, because they were playing for Tallow. They weren't playing for themselves. And there's a hell of a difference. People who play for themselves, you know, let down teams.
Did you have any worry at the time Erins own seemed to come back? They seem to have all the play there at one stage near the middle of the second half.
To be quite honest, I certainly had, because I think that there's a certain time when the scoring dies down and when nothing is happening for your team, and that's the worrying time. They were scoring and their dander was up, as Michael O'Hare used to say, and if you don't come back and get a score, you came back and got 1 point, and I was relieved then. I felt we could stand up to the rest of the day. But even then, it was a mighty effort from Erins own. Yes. They really were great.
That was today's game. What about senior ranks now for next year? Well, we've been there the last few years. We'll be back in strong next year?
I think so, because, you see, today's panel, and it's more than a team, it takes more than 15 to win a match. I think today proved that. But today's panel has quite a number of minors. Fellows have even one of this year's minors and several of last year's, and there's the real hope for the future. There, to my mind, is what tradition and a good club is, that you have people who are ready to step in and play their part, and that's a very important thing. So I'm very hopeful for the future. I'm delighted that we have a chance of playing senior again, thank God.
Yes. As Ned says, we have a lot of young players, and things look really good for Tallow hurling for the future. Okay, Ned, happened when a victorious winning team today. Well, Mick, where do we go from here now? We're back up in the senior ranks again.
Well, the important thing, Tom, was to get back into senior hurling was the one thing we wanted today. We finally achieved that. From here on in, it's every game as it comes. That's the way we're going to take it again, and that's the way we took it this year. It's no good, Tom, like thinking that, you know, we're going to win a county championship next year. We must win the first game in the start of the championship, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. We're back into senior ranks now, Mick. There's a rumour that Dunhill might be in the horizons for you. Would that be any truth in that rumour?
Tom, I'm working with Waterford 4 years now. Dunhill has been in rumours for the last 4 years, Tom, so that answers that question for you.
Right. We're delighted to hear that, because we don't want to lose any players. We want to add to our team. We have still some lads in the town that I suppose are coming up. It's great to see the young lads coming up, and with a lovely blend of youth today. We had 1 or 2 lads. They're not over the hill, which they proved today, but they're moving on a bit. But it's good to see the young lads coming up.
Well, I agree with you, Tom. It's very important that we have the younger players, and I was delighted that some of the younger players performed extremely well today. But I'd just like to add that it's very important to have some of the older players. Talking about taking John MacDonald in case, like, he proved to himself today that he can still do an hours hurling.
He certainly did.
And I'm delighted for a lot of the young lads, because a lot of them have just been brought into adult hurling this year, and they certainly proved their case today. And hopefully they'll be a year older next year, and we'll be playing in a higher grade, and I think we will keep up with the best of them.
Yes. As Mick mentioned there, he singled out John MacDonald. We won't single anyone out, but John is really a Trojan workhorse, which he proved today. As I said, it's great to see him there, himself and Liam O'Brien. He must be two of the most consistent players that we have in Tallow over the last few years. Once again, anyway, congratulations, Mick.